Yo, what's up guys, Shadi here, coach of Bayern Munich, and welcome to ETA Week 4. This week we're up against the Amsterdam Alakazams, and their coach, Chris King, I think? Yeah, that's probably it. And it's another Dutch team that's an alliteration team name. I don't know what's with the Dutch people. There are 3 in this league and they all have alliteration team names. I don't know why. Dutch people, please. Netherlands, sort your shit out. Anyway, this draft is, as always, not on screen because I'm lazy. You have the really fucking disgusting core of Mega Venusaur, Volcanion, Latias, Sylveon, Zygarde. He also has Lucario, Alolan Lycanroc, Midnight, the bad one, and Tornadus T. So last round Tornadus T, that's one hell of a pick for the last round. And I think it was the last pick overall. So that's nice. Yeah, that's a team, and I'm just gonna get over what I'm bringing, and then we'll get right into the game because things and stuff. So first base, you can see I'm bringing Altitude of Thunders once again with the Chilamberry, Prankster, Thunderbolt, Psychic, HPIs, and Nasty Plot. With just enough speed to outspeed max speed Latias. Chilamberry allows me to, if you don't know what it does, it weakens normal type moves, which means that even if Lucario does get up a plus sword stance and everything has gone to shit, Thundurus can still live with Chilamberry. It is probably not needed. I have a Necrozma, I have a Mantine, so it is more than likely not needed, but I figured, you know, why the fuck not? It also means I can take in E-Speed from Zygarde if that is somehow at some point for some reason necessary. Also, if he doesn't bring Pixet, Sylveon, and brings just Hyper Voice regular, no. This is for the 2 ESP users, mainly Lucario. If it comes down to a situation, then I can, you know, shoot at and just knock him over with Thunderbolt, hopefully. Assume that he is in range at that point. So yeah, this set just kind of plops him. There isn't much he has. I need to weaken the little muck, of course. I need to weaken Sylveon. And some chip on Latias would be nice as well, but basically if I get to +2 at late game, it's over essentially, unless he has something like a Scarf, Lycanroc, which is obviously a problem for that. He doesn't actually have many Scarf options. Like, he has Lycanroc and occasionally Lucario and maybe Latias and also Volcanion, so there isn't many good Scarfers on this team, so that's kind of a cool thing to note for my relatively offensive draft. Then we have Monodoe, the Diggersby with the life up, huge power, has the ability Return, Earthquake, Sword Stance, and Agility. So we have a dual lance Diggersby, Adamant max attack with 188 speed. That is enough to outspeed a modest Volcanion, I'm pretty sure, and the rest in HP. I want to go Adamant because it allows me to 2-hit kill Mega Venusaur with a return most of the time, unless I get really unlucky with damage rolls. And basically the thing is, depending on what he has left or what he has, you know, what he brought in general, I can either SD up and be a wall breaker and just break all of his fat shit down because at +2 everything dies, or I can agility up late game, and if he only has rather frail things or really weakened things left, I can just clean up with that. I really want a quick attack on this set as well, because like SD plus quick attack is also just phenomenal in this matchup late game, but I figured, you know, dual dance would be cooler, and that's what we're rocking. Next up we have Kryptonite, the Necrozma. This is probably my biggest win con. Left over was Prism Armor, Psyshock, Earthquake, Calm Mind, Moonlight, max HP, 232 defense, Bold Nature, and 24 in speed, which allows me to, I think, outspeed max speed Alolan Muck, if he were to bring that. Unlikely, but possible. It also gives me a better chance to outspeed Mega Venusaur, of course, even if he does run a little speed. So, I'm running Earthquake over HP Ground or something because it still does more to Alolan Muck, and I'm still running minus attack nature, assuming that he is Assault Vest, which I expect him to be because it's a little Muck. Most of the time, it's gonna be Assault Vest. And even if he isn't, I think it still does more until I get like a couple boosts up. So, still running minus attack because I need everything else. I don't run minus speed, don't run minus special attack or special defense. So, minus attack it is, it still works, and I weaken a little Muck with Thunderous and Nihilego already, so that's all fine and dandy. The thing just kind of wins late game. There isn't anything. I don't think there's much he can do about this thing. Just kind of plopping his team. I can set up on Mega Venusaur. I can set up on a Volcanion that's slower than me, potentially. So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. Set up on Sylveon, even set up on Latias, unless he is Calm Mind himself, and even then I think I should beat at 1v1. Zygarde not so much, but I would probably still set up on it anyway, just so I can beat it and do more damage with it, because Zygarde is stupidly fat. Set up on Lucario, set up on Torn T even to some extent, unless he's like Life Orb or Specs. and I think Lycanroc depending on the set as well. So the thing just sets up on a bunch of shit and just plops his team, and it's gonna be great. Next up we have Angie, the Manta. With the left was Water Absorb, Skull, Ice Beam, Toxic, Roost. Just a Fizz Dev set with 8 and speed, just in case he wants to speed creep me with some shit. So Ice Beam over Air Slash because I want to hit Zygarde. Zygarde is a massive threat to my team or any team, so I want to make sure that I can actually kill it. Not kill it, but I can actually do good damage to it. He can't sub on me for free. That's why I don't have Air Slash, which I would have obviously loved to have for the Mega Venusaur. Toxic is just nice for things like Zygarde, Volcanion, and Latias, as well as Sylveon. So Toxic, any of those would be absolutely grand. Of course, you could have Heal Bell, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If you waste a turn Heal Belling, that's great because my team is very offensive and I will use that. So Mantine is just basically my answer to Volcanion, unless he has HP Electric. He can't touch me at all, and even if he does have HP Electric, I can live one, and that's all fine and dandy. This also gives me a good check to Latias. It gives me a good pivot into Mega Venusaur if I want to. It gives me a switch into Tornti as well. It gives me a pseudo switch into Alolan Muck, and kind of a pseudo check-ish to Sylveon. And Lucario. So this thing checks a bunch of shit on his team and is really good. Which one running fully Fizz Dev. If you bring Volcanion, if he clicks the right button, then yeah, if he clicks the Specs HP Electric, then that's unfortunate, but that also just gives me a free switch to Diggersby, and then I kill shit. So I was very fine with that. Not making sure that I can like not get tweaked out by like a Scarf HP Electric, which was entirely possible because Mantine is a beast. I figured that if he locks himself into that, I can just go Diggersby and get a kill. That's just how it's gonna happen. So next up we have Portgas, the Ape, the Infernape, Life of Blaze, Close Combat, Gunk Shot, Flowers, and Stealth Rock, Max Attack, Adamant, 222 speed and 36 in HP. That is speed creeping max speed Jolly Lucario, not Zygarde, because I don't expect him to ever bring max speed Zygarde in this matchup. Also because running Adamant allows me to have a pretty decent chance of tweaking Mega Venusaur with Flarelets. So that's cool. Basic Infernape is going to be a Stealth Rocker, and Close Combat is a fairly spammable move against this team in combination with these two other moves. Gunk Shot still does a ton to Latias, Flowers does a ton to Mega Venusaur, and to the Tornti, which are only fighting resist. So yeah, Infernape is looking strong in this matchup. Basically just get rocks and punch some holes for my 3 main sweepers. And then last but not least we have RB Steamy Heal Lego with the Assault Vest, Beast Boost, Power Jam, Dazzling Gleam, Charge Beam, and Sludge Wave. 192 speed Timid, 64 in defense, and max special attack. That is because that is to speed creep Zygarde. Yes, that should be Zygarde. Yeah, in case it means max speed Zygarde. So I didn't speed creep Infernape, but it didn't matter as much on this thing as it did with Infernape. So I figured that would make more sense to just have something else be in case. This is a Charge Beam variant, which means I can, get boosts on things like Sylveon if he doesn't pack Psyshock, on things like Venusaur if he doesn't pack Earthquake. Giga Drain actually does like 22% max from a defensive Mega Venusaur. I can Charge Beam all over that thing's face and be a happy camper. I can also live a hit from Volcanion, which is a bit crazy. Draco from Latias does nothing. Psychic does nothing virtually. If he is a special Lucario, I can check that as well. And if he's of course physical without Bullet Punch, I can check that too. Gives me a good check to Tornti as well, and yeah, so the thing just checks a bunch of shit on his team and does damage, so that's all fine there. And that's the team. I'm gonna pause and get right into the game. Okay, so again, as you can see, he decided to bring Volcanion, Mega Venusaur, Alolan Muck, Sylveon, the Invisible Lycanroc, and Latias. So there's no Zygarde, there's no Lucario, there is no Tornti, and that makes me really happy because those were, Zygarde was probably the biggest threat by far to my team. The only real threat, realistically, like on this team, nothing threatens me. There's no sweeper, there's nothing. It could be a big problem like him. Like sweepers, yes, Curse Mega Venusaur and Curse Alolan Muck are options. Calm Mind Latias as well, but I can deal with all of those to some extent. Calm Mind Latias probably being the scariest one. So, which I would have to attempt to beat with my Necrozma, which is probably not going to be a happy time. So, Latias is definitely looking like the biggest threat to my team at this point. So I just need to prevent that from Calm Minding up, and yeah, he's not going to be sub Calm Mind, I don't think. So I can drop a Toxic with it on with Mantine, and that'll be fine and dandy. So basically I'm not threatened by this team too much, and that's all fine and dandy. So just get into the game. He's gonna lead off with Mega V, so I lead off with my Infernape because it has a good match against pretty much anything. Lycanroc is gonna be scared out if that's his lead. I'm just gonna fire off of levels turn 1, do a clean 50%, and as well, because I'm lucky, I get a burn. So that's just perfect. Take the recoil, take the life of recoil as well. As he goes for leech seed, he has no reason not to, you know, I don't have a grass type on my team or a magic guard user, so he's going to switch out this turn. I'm fairly sure he will, so I'm just going to get my Stealth Rocks here, and unless he has default Gladius, they are there to stay. He plops in his Volcanion, and I am not worried. I'm just going to go right out into my Mantine, I believe. Yes, I do, because I can still keep Infernape either to kill shit or to, you know, as Death Fodder, and he just goes for the safe Steam Eruption, and that's all fine and dandy. I'm going to fire for Toxic here, as he does stay in, kind of making me scared of the HP Electric, but he just goes for Sludge Wave. That does absolutely nothing, because Mantine is a god, and it doesn't care about anything ever. So, everything is Toxic, rocks are up, so everything is looking spicy. I'm gonna fire off an Ice Beam, I think, just because I can't Scald it, obviously, so I can do that clean 2%, but he goes on Sylveon. I'm gonna drop a Toxic on the thing as well. He probably has Heal from the way he brought it in, but, you know, if he doesn't, then this is just a perfectly placed Toxic. However, he does just go for the Wish, so get some Toxic damage off on the thing, kinda, sorta, not really. He has lefties, but, you know, negate lefties for one turn, even if he does have Heal. So, I'm gonna make the offensive switch into my Nihilego, because if he has Heal, he's gonna reveal it at least now, and he does have the Heal, so that's cool to know. I'm just gonna fire off a Power Gem at this point, I think. No, I think I just fire off. I don't fucking remember. I'm just gonna click a button and see what happens. But I just click Power Gem, yeah, I do, as he goes into Alolan Muck. And that takes a clean 22% because Alolan Muck is very, very fucking bulky. So that's Assault Vest. I'm just gonna sack off Infernape. It did its job. He goes for the knockoff to 33. I get rid of my Life Orb. And he actually doesn't have Shadow Sneak, which I would be fine with if he went for it, because I could just drop in my Diggersby. But I'm just going to fire by Close Combat. That does decent damage to 38%, which I think tells me that he's not very bulk investment, and he knocks me out with the Shadow Ball and reveals to be Life Orb, which means he's more than likely not a Calm Mind variant, and that is glorious. So what I can do here now is just go into my Mantine and drop a Toxic on the thing once again. That's my easiest way of dealing with it, so I'll just take it. Drop the Toxic on the Sylveon. As you know, the thing is Heal, so it doesn't really do too much for me, but I can once again go into my Nihilego and pressure his team a little bit, because he doesn't have much that wants to switch into this monster, as he does just go for the Hyper Voice and does clean 11% damage. So everything's getting worn down by the Toxic, that is nice, and Nihilego's sitting in here pretty much at full health. I'm just gonna fire with Sludge Wave because he chooses to sack off his Mega Venusaur, so that's cool. I go for the Sludge Wave, and I can just fire knock it out with another one, kind of keeping up the illusion that I might be choice in case he, you know, doesn't want to calc. So I get a Beast Boost, which is nice, and he goes into Lycanroc, which I was like, okay, he's Scarf, but I have a good chance of living this. No, he goes for Sucker Punch. Interesting. And I get to roll with Power Jam, which was definitely a roll, which I think wasn't my favorite, so that's lucky. And at this point, he chooses to go into Volcanion when he has a little Muck, and he also has a Latias, which outspeeds, and that thing goes down. So Nihilego goes up to +3, and then he decides to be a fucking dickwad and forfeit. Yeah, I don't know, GG, I guess. So he forfeited for literally no reason other than he doesn't care about the league, which is a very nice thing to do, and definitely not a dick move at all. Not judging him at all for being a fucking dick and wasting my time prepping this team. No, not at all. Why would I? Yeah, so that's 6 kills for Nihilego. Shit game, but you know, I'll take the win. We take those, you know. Whatever. So yeah, we are 4-0. That's the game that happened. He should have just gone Muck. He didn't have Psyshock on Nadia, as he said, so unfortunate. He could have just gone Muck immediately and just knocked me off and threatened me out. So I know why he's at the forfeit. That's a fucking dick move, and just not a thing you should ever do in any league ever. Just don't forfeit games. Just don't fucking do it. It's a fucking dick move. Even if it's the last turn, for example, just don't do it. I don't like it. No one likes it. Not cool. So that's my little lesson there, and my little, you know, showcase of being mildly annoyed by my opponent forfeiting and wasting my time prepping this team. So yeah. That's it, we're 4-0, and I think this counts as a 5-0, not a 6-0. You know, it's a forfeit, which I think if you forfeit mid-game, that should always be a 6-0, no matter what the circumstances are, but that's just me. And Nihilego gets 6 kills, it's now up to 8. Infernape died for the first time, which is super unfortunate. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I just clicked Gongshot when it died, by the way. I didn't even mention that because it's late and I'm mildly tired. You can probably hear that's late because I'm talking a lot more quiet than usual. Yeah, this is Gongshot, I think, or rocks, either or, because, you know, either I weaken Latias or I get up rocks in case he defogs. I'm not sure which one I clicked. Both were fine plays in my opinion. So that's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching. Next week we go up against Caffeine Boost, the founder of the league, which should be fun. We don't have an alliteration team name that week. That's just great. It makes me happy every time there's not a fucking alliteration team name, because those are awful. If you have one, please change. Thank you. Fight the fight for the right side. Be on the right side of history. Yeah, that. So yeah, play against Caffeine Boost. He has Tapu Lele and other things. So he has a broken sack of shit and another bunch of really good Pokemon, Weavile, Terrakion, and whatever else. I'm gonna lose horribly. It's gonna be great. That's it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, leave some nudes. I will appreciate your 3 and hopefully see you guys next time. Goodbye.